Hey guys, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. And boy, we all knew, if you've been on this channel, we all knew about Donald Trump's disastrous performance at the debate, how Kamala Harris passed with flying colors all of the challenges that were put before her, the fact that she won on every count, according to former Fox host Chris Wallace, now over at CNN. But you know things are bad when even the Republican elected officials are out there talking about how bad things went for Donald Trump. We've been talking about on the podcast my encounter with Lindsey Graham, very angry Lindsey Graham, tomato-faced Lindsey Graham, yelling at me, and then admitting that he thought that Matt Gaetz and Tulsi Gabbard should be fired because it was their fault, couldn't be Donnie Trump's fault. But since the spin room, and now that Republican senators are back on the Hill, they were cornered by reporters, and a couple others gave their opinion. Let's watch some highlights.
Most people didn't know her terribly well, other than a few clips that were not flattering that you might see on the internet. And people saw, oh, actually, she's an intelligent, capable person who has a point of view on issues, and she demonstrated that time and again.
Were you comfortable with him continuing to say the election was stolen in 2020?
I don't think you should say stuff that maybe make it harder for people to vote for you.
Okay, first and foremost, though, we have Mitt Romney. And what I liked about Romney's comments is he was focusing on the positives for Kamala Harris. So he wasn't even just out there saying Donald Trump was crazy, he was doing racist stuff, he was conspiratorial, he was a monster, he wouldn't look at her, he was seething, he was aggrieved, he was all that. He wasn't doing that. Romney talked about Harris. And he said that from his vantage point, there are going to be people in his life that watched it, didn't know a lot about her, that realized, oh, actually this is an intelligent, capable person. A little bit of subtle misogyny there, and not maybe on Mitt's part, but projected onto other people, that they would have thought that somebody that achieved the office of Vice President of the United States was not an intelligent, capable person. But that said, that was part of her job last night, to reach the subtle misogynists, to reach the people that for some reason believed that she was a DEI hire or whatever. And there's a group of people out there that don't like Trump, but that had been conditioned to believe that she was incompetent or silly or unserious or whatever, and she debunked that in the most dramatic way possible at the debate. And I thought it was noteworthy that Mitt Romney acknowledged it. A couple of the other senators, we had Mike Braun from Illinois here, giving Trump this little piece of advice. I don't think he should say stuff that may make it harder for people to vote for him. Have you met Donald Trump, Mike Braun? Have you met Donald Trump? I think he's going to say stuff that makes it harder for people to vote for him. That's kind of his whole brand. That's the whole point of Donald Trump. These guys like to live in this ridiculous multiverse where, you know, they just kind of do Indiana stuff, and Donald Trump's out there, and they like don't even acknowledge that it's happening, even though he's the nominee of the party for the third straight time. But it's good to see that he at least recognized that Donald Trump said quite a few things that turned people off last night, whether it was on abortion or dog eating or not wanting Ukraine to win. And Tom Tillis here, also a Republican senator from North Carolina, important swing state, called Trump out and said he took Kamala's bait. He took the bait. He can't help himself. Again, not really a leadership trait that you want in somebody that's so easily baited. It seems like that might make us vulnerable to some foreign adversaries or internal domestic adversaries, for that matter. Over on Fox, wasn't much better. My favorite clip, because I think we've talked about some of the others. My favorite clip from Fox was Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters is the biggest hack over there. Even Jesse was like, Trump missed some opportunities. Even Laura Ingraham did. Let's watch Jesse and Laura Ingraham.
This was pretty intense at times. She started off shaky. She regained her footing. You watch this thing. If you're a Democrat, you're like, oh, she did a great job. She was much more forceful than Joe Biden. If you're a Republican, you look at this and you're like, that's Donald Trump. He had some moments where you were like, oh my God, where are we going with this?
She moved the points a little bit on the betting markets. Now, did Donald Trump miss a few opportunities? Absolutely.
Wow. Again, I guess that's what passes for truth over there at Fox. You just have to, you can't go whole hog and talk about how Trump gave one of the worst debate performances of all time, which is true. But they at least acknowledged that he had some misses, that Kamala had some successes, and that it didn't make it any easier for him in the election. So if there was any doubt, I think that the reaction from the Republican senators and from the primetime Fox hosts, not just random people on Fox, the primetime Fox hosts show what we all know, that it was a big win for Kamala Harris. We'll be continuing to monitor what exactly that means and how much that impacts the polls. But for now, the Republicans, they're quaking. They're concerned, and that's got to make you happy. It makes me happy. So keep on subscribing to the feed. We are going to be monitoring all the fallout, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.